The last 10 years and everything that's led up to this.
Okay.
It's been a pretty stressful time, so.
It has, yes. In January 2005, I was in a very bad car accident. They had to pull the trunk off my back and pull me out. I broke my jaw on the steering wheel and had to have both TMJ joints replaced, which led to us finding out I had a genetic blood clot condition that we didn't know about. And I had 80 blood clots on both my lungs and a severe deep vein thrombosis that went from my groin to my mid-calf and stayed there for 4 years, causing nerve damage and damaging 85% of my right leg. I spent 6 months in hospital because they couldn't get my blood stable, and then followed by 2 years in a wheelchair, not being able to walk or breathe. I worked very, very hard to get out of the wheelchair, and I need to continue to work hard to stay out of the wheelchair. I met my amazing husband, who has been with me by my side through all of this. Just when I came out of the hospital in 2007, we found out I had cervical cancer, so I had to go back into the hospital to have surgery. And everything with that was okay until January 2011, when the cervical cancer had returned. It was recommended by several doctors to have a hysterectomy. However, with my blood clot condition, we couldn't find a surgeon to do the surgery. And I honestly thought I was going to die of cancer before we could find a surgeon who was willing to take the risk with the blood clots to do the surgery. So thank God, a year later, we found one and had the surgery, and thank God, no major complications. However, we had bought this house just before that, knowing the surgery was coming, as an investment in my health. That this was supposed to get me the custom bathtub, a walk-in tub, to give me the freedom to take a shower on my own, because in the apartment we were at before, I could only do it when Darrel was home, because the first time I tried, I fell and broke something else, and that wasn't very good because I was already in a wheelchair. So we bought this house. We knew it had some issues. We had a home inspector, which we found out they don't always tell you the whole truth. We had done some renovations to get the bathroom, and so had the hysterectomy here, lying here with chemo running through my veins. And we found out in March of this year, 2014, that the entire time that we've been here, I've been breathing toxic black mold, and I now have mold poisoning. So our last sort of things that we wanted to fix was the deck and the driveway before, and as we were having contractors come to give us estimates for the deck, the basement bathroom started flooding with water. So we had one contractor who came, and the first day he did everything right. The insurance sent over a hazmat specialist who came over and in front of us said, okay, don't touch the wall with the toxic black mold, remove the rest of the tile and drywall, and call him back in, the hazmat guy, so he can assess it. So I was very sick that night from disturbing the mold, so I left the house, and when Darrel came home from work the next afternoon, he called me and said, how come everything is down to the cinder block? And I said, what do you mean? So I called the hazmat specialist, and he said to get the cats and get out of the house. Then we spent a week in a hotel. Meanwhile, most of that week, I spent it in the hotel bathroom being sick from all the mold. Still trying to find contractors to come and now help us with this. We found this one guy. I did a lot of research, read a lot of reviews. He had all great reviews, everything was great. So he came to the hotel, we had a contract, we gave him a deposit. He came, we looked around, we needed to do, so we started with, we had to do waterproof the outside of the house. Which we did, and he said just to check sort of the opposite room in the basement to see if there was any mold. Well, I'm glad that he did that because every single piece of wood framing the basement was covered in mold. The previous owners had 2 floods that they did not disclose to us, on top of a lot of other things that they did not disclose to us. So we needed to rip out the entire basement to get rid of all of the mold, basically. The black toxic mold was removed, not properly, but at least it was removed, and now we had to get all of the rest of the mold out of the house. So we did the waterproofing, where these contractors didn't really think and trapped me in the house for the first few days because I am disabled. I could not get downstairs easily, and they dug down 8 feet all the way around the house with me in it. So for 3 days, until they could build a strong enough temporary staircase, I was trapped. And when I could get out, I left to go spend time at a friend's house because with all the dust and all the everything, I have scarring on my lungs from the blood clots, I couldn't be here. So that led to lots of other stress, ripping out the whole basement, trying to figure out where to put everything, and lots of bad advice. Meanwhile, this contractor was robbing us blind from the beginning. He stole our credit card information. He did a lot of things that were fraudulent and illegal. He was charging me up the wazoo. He convinced me to buy the materials on my credit card that would save me money, which it did not. It's been a very stressful time. We had a contractor, or one of his workers, that had sort of, I guess, seen that he could take advantage, and he started filling us in on things that the first guy was doing. And we had already been leaning towards firing him, and the guy that worked for him helped us convince us to fire him, and then that guy stayed. And that guy was taking advantage of us from the beginning as well, and he screwed us even more with the work that he did.
So you had the first contractor do the basement, all the waterproofing. The first contractor also started the backyard and the deck.
Yes.
And then the second contractor finished off the deck and the backyard?
Yes.
Okay.
Making a gigantic mess.
So how much have you spent altogether? I mean, right from the very beginning.
From the beginning of this till now, we have spent $330,000, including the hotel, the pet hotel, the being screwed out of the money, paying for materials, lines of credit, construction loans.
And how much of that has gone to the contractors?
$218,000.
To the two contractors?
To the 2 contractors.
Right.
We had a line of credit that we wanted to stay within the budget to do everything: the basement, the waterproofing, the deck, the driveway. By the second contractor, we had run out of money completely, and we applied for a construction loan from the bank, which he assured us that everything that was on the list from the bank could be done within that dollar amount. Well, here we are with 4 weeks left of that 90 days from the construction loan, and more than half the list is not completed. We have no money. We either need to claim bankruptcy or pray that we get the second mortgage approved. And I don't know what we're gonna do because we can't afford to fix anything, and my safety is not assured with the mess that they have left us to clean up, inside and out. And I don't know what to do. So here we are leading to the basement, where, as you can see, I walk with a cane, but there are no railings, and there are unfinished steps, and I don't come down here very often for this reason. They up and left in the middle, leaving things like this, They put new.
The door frame hasn't been done.
There's screws hanging out. This is the bathroom where it all started. They put drywall and then made a hole in it.
I understand that's the shutoff for the outside, for the water valve outside.
Which we assume, but we don't know anything.
Okay.
So there is no way to put a shower curtain.
Okay.
There is also, I don't know how to describe what they've done to the what could have been a beautiful bathroom tile.
Well, they haven't finished cleaning it off. You can see that this is glass. This is glass tile, but you can see how badly the grout job is done. It hasn't been properly cleaned off. There's a grout haze
Everywhere?
Yeah. And that's something that you have to do while it's still wet.
And also,
Bottom is the same, and of course,
so this
it's a good hiding spot for the cat.
this bathroom right now is not very functional, at least the toilet and the sink, but it's filthy. And they put this lovely hole. I don't know why.
Right.
So it's unfinished here. There is a step into the laundry room, which they have left materials and all sorts of other things. They moved our washer and dryer and then charged us for it again. I don't know why. But because of that, we ended up having a flood because the hose from the washer came out and all the water, instead of going to the drain in the laundry room, which is here, it went to the walls.
The drain's not even finished.
Oh no, we just found this cover yesterday actually, but it's been since May, March, April that. But when we had the flood, all of the water went into the walls and into the crack, not to the drain.
So the flood went underneath the wood.
Under the wood.
The hardwood.
Under the tile.
The new hardwood.
Brand new hardwood, brand new tile, not level. And
Right.
They so kindly left the level, but clearly did not use it. Along with all sorts of other wires and things that this is actually fixed compared to what they've left.
So you had asked them to add extra outlets, and this is how they've done it. They've just jumped one outlet on one box onto another box.
However, this outlet doesn't even work. So why is it there?
Right.
They so kindly left several holes in the walls through the cinder block after the waterproofing. Our wonderful cameraman here installed our driver vent for us because we didn't have one. They've also, I don't know if they didn't finish or they took it down. They put holes through the cinder block.
Through the vapor barrier and
didn't seal it. There's air coming through.
So that's the plumbing from the gazebo.
Yes. And there's also underneath another hole just above it that we assume is also plumbing from the gazebo, but at this point we don't know. Our friend who installed our tankless water heater came and told the contractors not to enclose it. It is a gas tankless water heater. They put these cabinets and then charged me for custom work for the cabinets that shouldn't be there. In the bedroom in the basement, where you see 4 switches, yet only one works. They did custom work in here that they were going to display things of ours, not sure what. We would have preferred to have a closet to make this a guest bedroom. They also so kindly lowered the ceiling Not sure why either. And then, oh, here comes the cats. Didn't put a doorknob on the door. I, because I have fibromyalgia and arthritis in my hands, cannot open this door. I need somebody who is able-bodied to come and bend down and pull with your fingers to open the door. Isn't that great? So this is the water shut off and the main pipe that comes from the city, which they charged me and I paid to have it upgraded to a bigger pipe and to put in a new shut off valve, none of which is finished. And they so kindly left it just like this. I also paid to upgrade all of the plumbing to PEX, which apparently I didn't need to do because we had copper pipes that I'm getting mixed information about was okay, but too late now. Although I'm not even sure if they actually did it because they told me they actually did this and they didn't. So I don't even know how to check what's with the plumbing now.
So this is some of the stuff that they've left behind.
As is.
Yeah.
In
It's an awful lot of caulking.
that I paid for, apparently. And
So
did it with
this is the custom cabinetry that you paid for.
that doesn't even close properly and doesn't have any handles.
So it's just bits of pieces of MDF that have been inlined.
Well, they didn't finish the trim, clearly.
None of the trim anywhere has been finished. One door has been framed in,
But we didn't even want a door there.
and it's been framed in MDF. They didn't even use wood.
So here we are at our front door, where you can see they put steps, but there is yet again no railing, which makes my life very challenging. I am afraid what's going to happen in winter. So we had everything dug up. This is where the original problem started.
So they went down 8 feet down all the way around.
Right. Why they've left this here, I couldn't tell you. However, the previous owners here had a flower bed and there was a square cut out through the cinder block foundation where there was mushroom and mold growing through the foundation behind the walls before. So they so kindly patched that hole. There was a vent for the bathroom, perfectly great. Don't know why they needed to put yet another hole through my foundation to make another vent. One of the other problems, we don't have a proper drain. And the way they've done this, right now the water does not go to the drain. It puddles right here.
You can see where the dirt is from where the
Yes.
water puddles.
Now let's bring us to the several things of brick, because they so kindly hit the house repeatedly with the bobcat and have left chunks of our house who knows where at this point.
So they've literally pushed it in.
There was a small crack here originally, but now there are two in several places. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's a new crack here and a new crack here. Look, yet another new crack here. You can see where they hit the house. Took the paint off with the side of the bobcat. Let's bring us to the gigantic crack that starts here.
Goes right through the center of the cinder block.
All the way up. Oh, keep going, because it's through the brick too. Up, 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 and up. Which leaves us to the bedroom up there, which is my bedroom, where the walls have cracks in them that go corner of the house where they hit it with the bobcat there. Before we go to the backyard, I'd like to bring your attention to this gate that we did not want. I'm not very strong, neither is the gate. And when they broke into the house, they broke it even further. We'll get to that later. If you'd also like to see the wonderful job they did for a retaining wall that is retaining nothing.
Not even high enough.
Nope. So, also like to bring your attention to the giant step which I have already fallen and hurt myself between the asphalt and the concrete in the backyard.
And
Here we are with yet more waterproofing. Doesn't look very good either.
another unfinished drain here.
Oh yes, the unfinished drain, the sawdust they left, the materials they've left. One of the guys that liked to drink decided to build a little house instead of actually working on my house. The deck is bubbling. I don't know if you can see those walls there.
You can see how the boards are buckling here.
Here and in several other places. And I've just noticed that the sun has already faded all of this wood. Does that mean it wasn't treated wood? How can this deck be built for 2 months and already be fading and falling apart? I'd love to know. You see how uneven and rough the ground is, where it puddles and I trip and fall, which makes it very difficult for me to get to the therapy that I need to get better when I'm constantly needing to look down to make sure I don't fall and break something else. This was supposed to be mostly storage. It is not built the way we wanted it. Don't get me wrong, it looks beautiful. But the part where the change room is extremely slippery. We've had to put carpet over it because I already fell there the other day and hurt my back yet again. And we needed storage for the pool. However, the storage that we requested a door to close and lock. Look at that! It doesn't even close. Very difficult to lock a storage room when the door doesn't close. We also had a drain pipe which they so kindly cut off and put this here. So when this is here, you can't even open the door and get to the things you need to maintain the backyard. Oh, the garbage they've left. Now we've actually cleaned up quite a bit of the garbage that they've left already. There is still more though. They so kindly left our entire garage covered in dust and wood. And so the second contractor hired professionals to do the retaining wall here and the front steps and retaining wall at the front. He watched that and said, oh, we can do concrete. So he himself, who had never done concrete before, did all the concrete around the pool, which is uneven, rough, high where it should be low, and low where it should be high. We had a huge puddle over here, and when the contractor, who was still here at the time, noticed the ground wire that they've left exposed for the pool, and the cracks, might be hard to see in the sun. Right here. Oh, and also the pool guys had to replace several of those stones because they kept driving over them with the bobcat. There's still one left that he will come back and fix later. There is a huge puddle here when it rains. So the first day the contractor took a sledgehammer to try and make a trench. When he realized he was hitting dirt where there should be concrete, not even 1 inch deep, he stopped. Then he so kindly drilled these holes here and here, which drained the water the first time and hasn't drained it since.
So how many square feet of...
There's roughly 2,000 square feet of concrete all around the pool and at the base of the 2 stairs, neither which has railings, needs to be, from what we understand, ripped up and done properly. It needs to be graded so that the water falls away from the pool, which currently it does not. It puddles and goes into the pool.
So you also have the tile.
I was just going to say, we bought this beautiful natural stone tile that I picked because it has the grooves in it and would not be slippery for when people and myself come in and out of the pool. However, we have no way of putting the tile down. We either have to rip up this concrete or find a magician. A, we can't afford to do any of this, and B, it needs to be graded properly so that we can put the tiles down. It needs to be prepared, which I can't do that. My husband, I love him, is not very handy either. Our beautiful hot tub, which is meant for me to get my therapy all year round, on a concrete pad that is already crumbling, already has plants growing through it, and is already not level. So we've had to drain it and leave it sitting until we can find out how to fix it. Because the drain for the hot tub is on that side, but the hot tub is leaning this side. They built the deck, again, another set of stairs with no railing. We begged them, both of them, not to build this part of the deck right up against the fence. We didn't want it. We needed the hot tub to be open on 2 sides, and we needed to be able to walk around to get to the storage under the deck. Yet, they built it anyways. Yes,
So here's your other set of stairs then.
again with no railing on either side, making it very challenging for me. If I'm home during the day doing my exercises and I forget to leave the front door open, I have to wait until my husband gets home from work before I can get back into the house. You want me to say?
So here's, well, all of these columns were supposed to be finished, but you can see that there's sections missing of the cladding. The sections missing pretty much on all of them. That one there's almost not even done at all. The pergola was built specifically to be able to cover the hot tub, to be able to allow you to...
It was meant for me to be able to get from that door to this hot tub in the winter without going in the snow, so I can get the therapy that I desperately need all year round. And from what we understand, this structure is not strong enough to hold a snow load even if we throw a tarp up there. Want to show the walls? Oh, you want to show that there's no railing? Again, not even a barrier on that side. I just left it.
No railing, no stairs, nothing.
Let's see all the wasted materials under the deck.
Don't know if you can see all of that, but there's an awful lot of stuff that's leftovers.
Buckling on it.
And more wood buckling. And you can see it's not very strong. There's definitely no way that you'd be able to put anything up there in terms of roofing to get a snow load.
See that side of the wall? I'm not very strong. Show the top part of that wall. The whole thing moves. How is it supposed to hold snow if it doesn't even hold the weight of my hand and I'm not very strong.
And of course,
They gave us a brand new beautiful patio door, but left, yet again, holes in the wall. Ooh, sweating.
okay.
Walking up and down the stairs is exhausting for me, and I'm sure there are more things that I'm forgetting that I just can't think of right now. They did leave sticky residue everywhere, on the walls, on the floor, on the ledge.
That's from when they covered it to keep the dust downstairs, keep the mold downstairs.
Yeah, which didn't work very well either. So they took down our painting. You can see a bit of residue on the ceiling there too.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they would paint it, but they've up and disappeared. With all of our life savings, all of our money, everything.
So you've gone from having a house that had no mortgage to now having a $350,000 mortgage.
Yeah, pretty much. And probably more, because that only covers the debt. We still need to fix some of these things before winter. And I don't know how we're going to do that.
Okay.
I need to protect what we have. But I don't know how. What God do you pray to get my combs to come? Please, somebody tell me.
Okay.